So anybody that is not here now will join us during the course of the space. So once again, GM everybody. I remain your host, Crypto Nature, and it's a privilege to be here with the community, the Piin community, and my co-host. You get to actually talk about Web3 jobs or 9 to 5 jobs, as well as discussing the value of Piin in the long run. So first of all, first things first, let's let me start by allowing our speaker, although he's not a stranger, but for those that are joining us for the very first time, and then for the sake of those that might listen to our recorded version of this space for the very first time, they'll also get to know who Mr. Oguche is. So, Mr. Oguche, you have the mic. Just introduce yourself to the community, and we dive into what we have on deck. So, thank you.
GM, everybody. I remain my humble self, Oguche Barnabas. I'm a WikiCat ambassador and then also a Piin community ambassador. I want to also give a shout out to our host, Crypto Nature, and then to Piin as our sponsor. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that. One thing again is whenever I we have you on space, I know it's going to be value back to back to back. So me personally, I can't even wait to hear your 2 cents on the subject matter we have today at hand. So first thing first, let me try to explain, introduce the topic itself, which is Web3 jobs or 9 to 5. So now, what is Web3 jobs? The whole hype, the whole attention on the job space in the Web3 industry. So let's start with this question: what is Web? Now, there is this, should I say, belief, or there is this narrative that Web3 job is something that is totally different from what we used to know as job. You get the point. But now defining what job is, job itself, you understand that it is something you do, it is a service render, and in return for that service, you get paid. Now, getting paid does not necessarily have to do with money. Does not necessarily mean to, okay, because I work or because I help do this task, I must be paid with let's say with fiat or something like that. You get, but then anything you get in return for a service rendered, right, is a form of payment for what? For what you do. So, job in a simple word is rendering solution, right? Rendering solution, offering service, and return, you are getting value. You are getting value. So this is how I would love to define it. And when you talk about value, like I said, it does not have to do with only fiat, USDT, or any other thing. It can be, let's say, you are getting this value back in form of connection. You are getting this value back in form of what's it called, recommendation. You are getting this value back in form of partnership. You are getting this value back in form of, in different form. You get, it does not necessarily have to do with money. Some people will be like, Nature, I've been in this space, but yet I haven't gotten my Web3 job. And meanwhile, those people have one way or the other volunteered for a project that founder which they volunteered for somehow recommend them to another project. But they'll still tell you that they haven't still gotten their Web3 job, or they haven't gotten any job since they have been in this space. And this person have been contributing. So now I think it is high time we redefine the sense of Web3 job, like how people actually view it, the whole Web3 job of a thing, how people actually view it. You get the point? Because I even feel, in as much you are a contributor to any space, any ecosystem, any project particularly, you are already a jobber. You already have a job. You already have a job before. You already have a job already. Because people only feel that okay, it is when you now chat with that job and say like, okay, this is your pay every week. Yeah, that is another kind of job. But do not neglect the fact that whosoever is contributing and then his that the result is being seen from his contribution is a job already. So you get, and that dev one day will now recommend you to another project, and that project will hire you. Agree with me that the recommendation is a payment. The recommendation itself is a payment. That is how the person choose to pay you, or that is how you are now getting value back for what your services rendered. Your services rendered. So it is very, very important we understand that. So now that is Web3 job. And another thing, talking about 9 to 5, I'll also share a little bit light on what 9 to 5 job is as we understand it, and coming from a place of experience and also head value. So now you understand that a 9 to 5 job is that job you go in the morning, come back in the evening, office setting kind of work. You have all these your bosses, a Web2 kind of job settings. Is that correct? So that is a 9 to 5 job. So now the question now boils down to Web3 jobs or 9 to 5? Web3 jobs or 9 to 5? Web3. Now we are trying to compare. We are trying to compare Web3 jobs or 9 to 5. So, Mr. Oguche, let me ask you this. Will you go for, or if you are given an option to choose now as our speaker, will you go for a Web3 job or a 9 to 5 job?
All right, thank you. Um, I recognize a nano in the building, and then from the question our host have asked, me personally, I will choose a Web3 job over 9 to 5 jobs because that is where my interest is as a person. My interest is in Web3. I want to fully explore the space. All right. So me personally, I will choose Web3 jobs. Thank you.
I guess me like this now, I have a different answer to what you just said. Because me now on this space, I'm not going to agree with you. Nano, it's good to have you join us. It's good to have you join us, Chad. So it's going to be more like a banter space, and then everybody will share their opinion. Another thing, guys, like I said, our spaces are open mic, so feel free to request for mic, and I'll definitely bring you up here. So now, Mr. Oguche, you're trying to tell me that if you should be offered a 9 to 5 job that pays you better, when I say better, pays you better than your Web2, your Web3 job, will you still pick Web3 job over a 9 to 5 job?
All right. From the perspective I'm looking from is, Web3 jobs has to do with a long term, depending on the job, right? Okay, let me just explain my perspective. Of course, this part of the country we are, the rate of our currency to USDT is another thing entirely. And then secondly, you can get a Web3 job that you may not get much from it immediately, but once that job has a prospect, I can hold on to it. For example, let me give an example. You see this BGB, this a bit get a coin. Some persons, I think I heard the testimony of somebody that farmed the airdrop. From the explanation you give about Web3 job, of course, it's something you can do, and then you get rewarded either by value or by cash. So this guy, I think he farmed it, was it from 2019? And then, of course, it was not BGB then. And then he kept promoting even when they kept transiting. There was transition. He kept following this project. He kept following it. And at the latter on last year, he got over $35,000 from this same thing. Now, which a 9 to 5 job in this part of our world can give you such an amount of money even in 5 years. So this is the perspective I'm coming from. Once the job or what I am, the services I'm rendering, the company or whosoever, if I see prospect in it, even for 5 years, I can keep on it. And that is the kind of person I am. I'm actually a long term. I'm a futuristic person in terms of thinking. That is why I'm coming from this angle. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, that example is solid, and to be honest, $35K is very, very mouth watering. But still, what if it is NNPC, an oil company, calling you to come and work with them? You get the point. So now let's be using figures to be certain, to be very, very certain. Okay, so that you will know what you are dealing with here. You have a Web2 job that is offering you $2,000 per month. $2,000 per month. And you also have a Web3 job. Currently, they are offering you 500 monthly. Which one will you pick? Now, let me repeat this question again so that you know what we have on the table. You have a Web2 job offering you $2,000, right? And you have a Web3 job offering you $500 per month. And now, this Web3 job in question is a futuristic project, as you love to call it, right? It's focused on long term and stuff like that. Which one will you pick? But before you answer, I see a Web3 geek just joined us. Thank you for coming. I also see Kagi, Crypto Kagi, the writer. Thank you for coming as well. So, Mr. Oguche, you now have the mic. Mr. Oguche, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you. Okay. Answering that, that is tempting. That is tempting. But at the same time, of course, you know what it takes to get into the NNPC you just mentioned, right? Uh-huh. But all things being equal, let's assume we are offered the position there. Of course, I will go there. I will go there. And at the same time, Web3, like the name is, web, is something that is a work that can still permit you to still be doing it while you are to still be doing it while you are still working, while you are still doing your Web2 job. So I can combine them if the opportunity is granted. Nevertheless, if the opportunity is not granted, I will go for the Web2 job, right? Because I can get resources from there and buy into any project I feel is still futuristic. Thank you. You don't catch
Okay.
me. You don't catch me. You
No,
catch
no, no,
me.
no. It's just getting more interesting. It's just getting more interesting. So yeah, for every of our listeners, I'd like you all to know that this is an open mic session. So you can feel free, request for the mic, and we'll have you up here in a jiffy. So now, mind you, you talk about $2,000, you talk about futuristic, you talk about Web3 being the future, Koba Hakaba. Now, you are trying to tell me that you are going to neglect being part of a future of something much more bigger than $2,000 in the long run, just because you now have a Web2 job that is offering to pay you more than what a Web3 project will pay you. Don't you think that somehow betray what you stand for as a Web3 enthusiast? Somebody that really wants to see the Web3 adoption, take sail in a full scale.
Okay, like I said, like presently, if I'm being given $2,000, I can also buy into any Web3 project that is futuristic. I don't know if you got that part.
Now I understood what you said, but I want you to look at it. Buying into a project and actively being a contributor is two different things. So which
Okay,
one will you still choose as a Web3 enthusiast for the love of
okay,
Web3?
okay. You know, I also made a statement by saying if because Web3, of course, you can work from the comfort of your home and from anywhere, right? You can also bear me witness that even people into Web2 jobs are still into Web3, right? So if it will permit me to combine the two, why not? Otherwise, if it doesn't permit, so, like I said, once I know that the Web3 job is futuristic, for me, I will go with it.
Okay, that's your own take on that. But for me, as a community development manager, as somebody that wants to see this Web3 mass adoption, happen, most especially in this part of the world where I'm coming from, Web3 or nothing. But sales $2,000 sharp, but Web3 is still the goal. So now, Kagi, let me hear your take on this. Which one will you go for? Will you go for a
I
2,000?
will go for the $2,000 and carry my money and go and invest in something.
Why are you guys like
Because
this?
yes, because I like money. I like Imego Bikonyemefe. Kiss tell what side? Who is is the dev your papa? Futuristic. Please, please, please don't allow me to come to you this morning. Come
You guys are totally falling my hand. One thing I believe is,
on, come on, come on. Please follow your hands. Nobody's following your hand, though. I beg. Let's be honest. Let's be very honest. Laudio has shown us that all of us are beggars in this crypto Twitter. Whether Nigeria, whether America, we are all beggars. So please, please, you give me $2,000, I will use $100 and go and ape into one 10x coin, and we will move forward. That's the future. That's the only future I believe in. I don't believe in your futuristic $500 per month. I beg, I have bills to pay. Don't call for me.
but you all know that all this aping, buy-in, aping that you are saying, that is not what is powering the future of AI currently. It
You
is
don't mean it.
contributors, it is builders,
Now,
and
person
builders.
will chop, they check AI.
Ah, God, I do this. Why guys like this? Believe in something and be part of it. Me, I stand for Web3 job, $500. Guys, $500, and you are helping shape a future. See, beyond the money, look at what you are doing. You get the point. It's like you guys are missing it. You are trying to focus more on the money aspect. But I believe Nano have a different opinion on this matter. So Nano, which one will you pick?
Ah, my lord. Let me start by saying, we are not on the same page here. Let's start from there. So the Web3 jobs, 9 to 5. First of all, the word 9 to 5 is something I cannot relate to. I was not built to function 9 to 5. I like my indoor space, working from my room, cross border payments. My dev doesn't need to see me coming to work at 8 a.m. and signing a register, right? Anytime I come online, I'm online, I'm at work. When I switch off my data or go to watch a movie, I'm on break. I'm inside my house 247. I don't need to think of, oh, what am I cooking this morning to take to work? Or okay, I'll eat rice in the morning. In the afternoon, I'll go to the eatery and get food. No, I'm in my room. I just need to stand up, walk to the kitchen, eat, come back, sit down, walk outside, buy snacks, come back and sit down. Like that's the life I was built for. 9 to 5, not really, my lord. That's my take, sir. Let me start small. Let me drop that.
You see, finally, for Christ's sake, I have somebody that is seeing what I'm saying. I have somebody that I can now boldly hit my chest and say, yes, we have few persons that are willing to build the future. See, at a point here, you have to look at what you stand for. Principles. You are in this Web3 space. Remember, we all agree that we are here not for money. Crypto guy, you agree with me? We are in this Web3 space to be part of something great, number one. Why are you guys laughing?
For
For
the tech,
Christ's
for
sake.
the tech.
For the tech. That is the word. For the tech. Crypto guy, I don't like what you are doing. Which one is hands down? We are here for the
Sorry,
tech.
sorry, sorry. I'm very sorry. I think there's a project here anonymously. So let's all pretend. For the tech guys. For the tech.
So you get it is for the tech. Now, crypto Kagi, now this is it. Let me play a scenario for you. I want you to look like journey with me. You accept this $500 pay. Leave the nine to five $2,000 pay.
So it's no more a question now, it's by force.
No, it's
From
not. It's
which
not
one will
by
you pick
force.
to? You must pick that 500. If you don't pick it,
No,
you
no,
perish.
it's not like
That's it.
I'm forcing you. It's not like force. I just want you to look at it from this angle. You get the point. Journey with me carefully. I will take you somewhere. You get the point. So now you neglect this 2,000. You say no, you are not falling for the temptation of money because what you have a long-term vision. You get. Now, you accept your $500 pay monthly, right? As you are working for this project, either as a community manager or as a marketer or as anything, you now realize that this project end up, being one of the what's it called, best tool in the DeFi space. Tomorrow you can hit your chest and say, yes, I made the right decision. I was part of the what's it called early adopters, Abikiniko, builders of this project. And today, look at where we are. It is helping lives. Even though you cannot afford a Ferrari, even as at when you are talking, but you still know that you did something good. How do you see it? So this is what I'm saying, guys. So Nano, speak. Your answer up.
My lord, we have erred. We have offended the gods. We are talking about 9 to 5 jobs, Web3 jobs, and we left Web3 gig in the listener role. We have erred, sir.
Obviously, he has a lot to say. I'm bringing him up, and I believe he should be free by God's grace. We hope he's free because I know definitely his contribution here. Because see, you see this 9 to 5 of 18. Me, I used to tell people, you get like we all come to this place because one, we are looking for freedom. You get that decentralization, that transparency. We cannot get that in 9 to 5. No, you get, there are some things that forget the money. You cannot, go still sweet you. You are getting $2,000, ordinary $2,000, and you are neglecting freedom. You are neglecting transparency, decentralization. No, now. So that still leave us. Will you choose Web3 jobs or 9 to 5? I see King Uche. It's good to have you join us. I see God DeFi. I see Godly. And I see Web3 Geek again. I see Defme Omo, una name sha. I see Lucy. It's good to have each and every one of you join us. I see Dave, I see Steve. I may not call you by your name one after the other, but just know that I see you and I appreciate your presence on this space. As you all know, if you're just joining, if you're just listening, I'm Crypto Nature, the voice behind this PFP, and today we are here to talk about Web3 jobs or 9 to 5 jobs. Then we discuss the value of buy-in. King Uche, as a Web3 enthusiast, somebody that has been in this space for a very long time, somebody that is key on seeing development rapidly happening in Africa, most especially tech wise. Will you go for a $2,000 Web2 job, or you will stick to your $500 monthly payment Web3 job because you want to be part of something great? Which one will you choose?
All right. GM everyone. GM Crypto Nature. GM. I think Kage was the reason why I saw this space. So shout out to Kage as well. GM to everyone, especially. This is a very interesting topic, and I feel like I have history on both sides. I've worked in some prominent places in the Web2 aspect. One of my key milestones being I worked in the Nigerian brewery. So I understand the whole case of how much you can make in the Web2 space and how much you can make in the Web3 space. Generally, and to be honest, I made the most amount of money in a decent period of time in the Web3. But in the Web2 space, it helped me set up myself financially. Why do I say this? Like Web2, regardless of what happens, or it depends on the nature of where you work, and let's say your relationship with your employer. You know, If someone now might be speaking, someone in the petroleum industry now, his opinion about Web2 jobs will not be the same as someone that owns a provision store. You understand? So that's why I said it's a very tentative topic. But if it's someone that likes the idea of evolving, because that's what the human nature is, we've all been evolving. How things were 50 years ago is not how things are right now. So if it's someone that is open, or if it's someone that's passive to evolving, is always going to be the Web3, because it promotes this idea of decentralization. It gives you independency of your time. It also gives you the ability to be flexible. You don't is that idea of being remote in the idea of you can work anywhere, anytime, anyhow, and still most likely earn the same thing, if not more, than the Web2 jobber. Rather, is always going to be superior. You understand? Because the whole model of the internet, we move from the Web 1 to the Web 2 to the Web 3. So I don't feel like as if Web 2 is ever going to beat Web 3. But it's a tricky one, because of Web 3 is barely a teenager. Web 3 started in 2011. You understand? So he's barely a teenager. He's like, 14 years old. But Web 2 is an adult. He's been here for a while. So right now, at its current state, yes, Web 2, depending on the sector you are in, let's talk about the politician line. Let's talk, there's a lot of money in there. But if you're someone that is building for, you're building because of the potential, the Web 3 is always going to do better. Guys, mind you, I don't really have that much experience in the Web 3 space regarding of years. I was in Web 3 before I realized it was Web 3. I started Web 3 like 2020, but I became into like my official introduction in Web 3 was 2024. That's when I created an X account, and like before I realized what Web 3 was. But why do I say this? I was into affiliate marketing way, but affiliate marketing is one of the Web 3 perks. I was into that, and I have a very long chain in that place. When I mean long chain, I work with Xness, I've worked with Maven, I have over 2,000 people reach. So I was doing that, and I was making a very decent amount of money. Which why I was like, "Ah, what am I looking for?" Most of us on this space, not even most of us, let me not generalize, but a lot of people on this space, you have a higher chance seeing them in jail than seeing them in a 9 to 5 job. I'll say that again. A lot of people here would rather go. I'm not trying to shade anyone, but a lot of people here, you have a higher chance seeing them in jail than see them in a 9 to 5. What do I mean? Some people would rather scam than do that 9 to 5. That scamming is what will likely end them in jail. That's what I mean by some people have a higher chance of being in. I was never on the side of 9 to 5 because of that mental stress and because of the exposure Web 3 has given me. My first year in Web 3, I made between $10,000 to $16,000 in my first year in Web 3. I have never made that amount of money in 1 year in my Web 2 jobs. Yes, I was making a decent amount, but I've not done that amount in Web 2. So that's why I said I will always stick to the Web 3 side, because of there really isn't any limit. You understand? There really isn't any limit. Now, if you're working let's say you're earning, like you give numbers, right? Let's say you're earning like 500 in your Web 2. Before there will need to be a tremendous amount of work and effort you would do before your capital, or before an increase in your pay will possibly do like a 2x. In the Web 2, it's very, very hard to see someone paying you 500,000 a month, and you achieve something and you flip it to 1 million. It's very, very hard. But in the Web 3 space, your proof of work, as you build value, as you build connections, as you build a lot of things on the timeline, you will see it happen. You see where your dev will be like, oh, this guy's now what 500, 200. From 200 they bump you up to 500, or because of that network they will introduce you like, oh, it happens on the timeline. I don't think we ever talk about networking in the Web 2 space, but we always promote networking in Web 3. There's a reason why. I think I'll say that again. We don't talk about networking in Web 2, but we promote it in Web 3. Web 3 is always going to be there. It's always going to be that futuristic model of the internet, which which gives you the possibilities to not just earn more than the Web 2, but to build yourself and build something reasonable. Because in the Web 2 space, you are more likely fueling or promoting or building the dream of someone else. You are working for them. You understand? But in the Web 3 space is dynamic. You can be working for someone and while building yourself. It can be a mutual relationship in the Web 3 space. Whereas as you're working with a project, You're, offering your services, promoting their product, promoting whatever they have to offer, simultaneously building yourself, specializing in that skill you do. If you are with them as a graphic designer, as you're working with them, putting out graphics, you're getting yourself in there. You're getting, your hands are getting stronger, you are sharpening your tools, you are growing simultaneously. It's a mutual relationship. But in the Web 2 space, if you are working for a bank, or if you are working for, you are not really growing. You are just showing up, is stagnant. You come in, you press the same amount of press the numbers, or press the same keyboards, and you go home. You do that tomorrow, you do that next tomorrow, and all that is appreciating is the company. Whereas it is very easy for them to just flush you out and get someone else to replace you, because you have like a code, you have a pattern of what you do. You're not really elevating. So if you can't do it, someone else will do it. Whereas in the Web 3 space, there is that form of creativity. Yes, we have a lot of writers, we have a lot of speakers, we have a lot of content creators, but specific people are known, or certain projects like interacting with specific people because of that creativity. You understand? If you're a secretary in the Web 2 space, 90% of what you do on your laptop, other secretaries can do it. But if you're a content creator, if you're a video content creator, let's be specific now. If you're a video content creator in this space, it's not 90% of, oh, let's talk about the airdrops. It's not 90% of the airdrops guy that can do what pharmacist is doing. Do you understand? I think there are millions of examples. You guys just understand what I'm talking about, the case of creativity. So Web 3 is always going to beat Web 2. But right now is still kind of like an indefinite answer because of the age gap. Web 3 is still a teenager, and Web 2, is an adult, if not a grandparent at this point. So I'm sticking with the Web 3 aspect. Is always going to be a higher pay. Is always going to give you independency of your time, independence of your location, and they're also going to give you that idea of flexibility. And networking always has a higher power in the Web 3 space. And regardless of what happens, the model of the internet is transitioning as we move from Web 1 to Web 2 to Web 3. So inevitably, everybody will be forced to come into Web 3. Just like how we had the model of the currency transition from, the cowries to the coins to the fiat currency to the cryptocurrency we're all talking about today, is inevitable. The world will be forced to move on to Web 3. So why just not start now? Like, it's better for you to just start now and stop dwelling in the past, because with or without you, the world will move on.
Powerful. That's my contribution. Powerful. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Man, man, this contribution solid. I don't feel like sha. So for the sake of those joining us, welcome to today's episode of our weekly Friday Spaces. King Oguche said something, and at this point, I feel like I'm beginning to love you already. See figures wey Baba just cost $16,000. Sir, are you married? From the bottom of your heart, I want you to tell me, are you single or you are taking?
I'm not married, but I'm not available as well.
You have to be available. You just have to be available. But don't worry, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. And another thing, I don't know why Crypto Kagi dropped. She can't feel like saying that only she stand. But I can't dey reason my decisions again. After like weighing the amount, I can't dey still reason my decision. Because at this point, I felt Crypto Kagi left because she felt okay, nobody's supporting her, everybody's just after Web3. But another thing I want you all to remember is we are talking about a difference of $1,500. Uh-uh. Now it's like because we are saying it in dollars. Now let me quickly punch my calculator. Because even Nano and what's it called? King Oguche, right? King Uche, sorry, I did say Uche.
Okay, good to hear.
Ehen,
Yeah.
King Uche, you guys are all shouting Web 3, Web 3. Mind you, the difference is a whooping sum of $1,500. Did you still think all these things you mentioned is worth neglecting 15K? Because of all those things you mentioned, things like networking, evolving, the blah 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 blah. Did you think is really still worth it? $1,500 difference every month. Did you think is worth it? Oguche,
Was that question directed to?
you. I'm still asking you because obviously it's your point, and then Nano will still get to share his own 2 cents. We also have Lucy, we also have Lobby in the building. So King Uche, you
Okay.
have the mic.
let me try to clarify something. The 1,500 difference, was it the Web 2 is paying higher than the Web 3, or the Web 3 is paying higher than the Web 2?
The Web 2 is paying way higher than the Web 3. Web 3 pays you 500 monthly, and the Web 2 job is offering you $2,000 monthly, 9 to 5.
Yes, currently now, with my own exposure to the Web 3, I will be it will be a blasphemy, or it will be like I'll just be ignorant to say that I'll go for the 500 over the 1.5, or over the 2K. But here's the thing: it's tentative. Like I said, it depends on the nature of the job, and it depends on your relationship with your employer. Now, someone here in the Web 2 sector that works in the oil company, or works in the very high the aviation company, the input he might be giving, he's giving it based on his own experience in the aviation company. But someone now that works as a banker, he will always feel like as if, like, or someone that works as a security postman, that person will never pick regardless of the pay, because you get the idea of freedom in the Web 3 space. Even though the pay is different, you get the idea of freedom. You get the now in the Web 2 space, you can't really be flexible. If you want to stick to just Web 2 jobs, what do I mean? You can't be a secretary and still be a security man in the Web 2 space. Most of the guys that are flexible in the Web 2 space are flexible with something in the Web 3. Oh, they are a banker, and they are a video content creator. They are this, and they are a editor. They are this, and they are this. You can't be flexible in the Web 2. In the case of running two jobs at the same time. Oh, when you leave the bank, you will go and do overnight shift as security. You will burn out in 3 months. It's inevitable. But in the Web 3 space, you can be flexible. I know a lot of guys on this timeline that they are community moderators, they are ambassadors for project. That same person is a graphic designer. That same person is an airdrop hunter. This same person does this. This person is a KOL. One person can run like five things. So he promotes that idea of flexibility. And he also gives you independency of your time. And it's remote. But in the Web 2, if a case where something, let's say there's an international crisis, or let's say there's something happens, you can't show up to work, or you fall sick, or this person lands in an accident and he has a problem, you can't expect the business will not be out of merit. It won't be like, oh, because of this our guy has, you're hurting the business. They will dismiss you. They will find a direct or indirect form to dismiss you, because of the business is suffering the loss. But in the Web 3 space, for the fact that your brain is working, your fingers are working, your eyes are working, it gives you that remote access. You can work in the. That's why I say Web 3 is always better. Now, in my situation, it depends on what I'm going through. Or it depends on how long. If I've been with my Web 2 job now, let's have been with the Web 2 job for about 2, 3, 6, 10 months. No, within the first 4, 5 months, I would have accumulated to start building something in the Web 3 space, something more sustainable. Because that your Web 2 job and your Web 3 job is not guaranteed. Trust me, you could wake up one morning and they'll dismiss you. They find someone that ends. Okay, okay. Let me give you an example here. While I was in the brewery, there was this lady. Her name was Lady Grace. Was it Grace or Mary? She was known as the only person that could compute all the data in that particular sector, because the brewery is divided into about, like, 18 to 25 sectors, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of people kept running away from that particular job. This is a Web 2 job I'm talking about now. A lot of people kept running away from that particular job because it involves you understanding all the sellers, understanding all the brewers, understanding the Nigerian brewery is a very big industry. Now, when you are done, you have to compute all the data, decode everything, and a lot of people kept running away from it. So they had to keep going, searching interstates to find somebody that could come into here and compute it. Like, anytime someone comes into the job, they will run out within the next 1 week. Nobody could handle the amount, and the payment, or the incentive set for that particular role in the industry kept up going up. You hear them offering, they're offering 3 million naira every month just to handle that, and guys were still running away from it. I don't think you guys understand. 3 million naira is about like 1.5. Was it up to 1.5, or no? It's about 2,000. Yes, it's about $2,000. Guys were still running away from $2,000 because of the workload. Now, in that sector, there's nothing like AI. You have to read the data, you have to compute everything, you have to add it. The most effort you can get would probably be like your calculator. You understand? So the workload, this isn't even a case of the money anymore. but people just couldn't keep up with the workload, and that was why that lady Grace was being treated like gold. She was given a car on the brewery on the brewery side. She was given a car. Her rent is like they moved her to a place closer to the industry. Her rent is being paid. She was given a free car, and she was paid, if not the top, or at least one of the top sectors in her line, just because she's the only person that was able to sustain that job. You understand what I'm saying? But now, if it's in the Web3 space, we have AIs, we have Groks, we have networks. We have a lot of people that they will accept the jobs and they'll find someone more skilled because of their network. But in the Web3 space, you can't tell somebody to come and do in the Web2 space, you can't tell someone to come and do your job. There's no networking. You have to do the job yourself. But in the Web3 space, you can take the job, someone will do the job for you. You guys will split the percentage and get that job done. It happens, we see it every day. So for me, I will stick to job for the main time, accumulate what I can accumulate, build myself while building something in the Web3. Now, when I feel like as if I've done, ask yourself why I'm not in the brewery anymore. You understand? Life has evolved. I stayed there I won't talk how long I stayed there, but life has evolved. I'm earning more than I was earning there, and I was earning a decent amount. So I'm not coming on here to advocate or to promote you guys should quit your job or quit anything, but you need to understand that life is evolving, and if you fail to evolve, you end up building the dreams of someone else.
Actually, I actually love the dimension and the tone in which this conversation is taken. Me personally, I love it. But still, Nano. No, no, no. Before Nano, then we have Lucy, we have Lobby. Hi guys, how you all doing? Please, I want you all to know that we are people of democracy. Me personally, I advocate for free speech. So please, you are entitled to your own opinion. You get the point. So, um, King Uche said a lot, and his words are very, very deep. Like when you weigh it, put it on the balance scale, you know that yeah, it's worth it. It's worth something. But still, I want to hear from both of you. But starting with Luby. So Luby, having to know all this or having to hear all this, which one will you consider? A Web3 job that pays you 500 or a 9 to 5 job that pays you $2,000? Which one will you go for?
Uh, GM to you, Crypto Nature. Your co-host, I say King Uche. Always a pleasure to meet you. This guy's always spits the alpha, man. King Uche, today I'm not gonna press your neck. Yeah. So shout out to all the speakers and all the listeners, amazing listeners in the house. It's not gonna be a space without you guys. And Crypto Nature, this is my first time on your space, so you guys are having a very, very amazing and wonderful topic here. And you said everybody's opinion actually matters. Which one am I going to choose? Well, for someone like me, I don't think I have the luxury of choosing. That is first. Because I'm an entertainer. My Web2 life is very, very flexible for me. In as much as so it's safe to say that I am Web3 weekdays, entertainer, weekends. For example, today I have to report to the club because I'm a hype man. So you can't expect someone that me that sits at home Monday to Friday to have an issue with 9 to 5. Like I have all the flexibility to do my Web3 live, except for Wednesday, which I actually report to the radio station because I'm an on air personnel. So you see, mine is actually very, very flexible for me. I cannot choose because so on that case, I'll tell you you have to go with what works for you, right? Because it works for me doesn't mean it can work for you. The 9 to 5 is relative, right? Some people's 9 to 5 is all through the night. For example, I don't have the luxury of doing Web3 weekends because right now, if anything requires me to actually do a job, right now I can actually stay on Web3 from now to like latest 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. if at most if I try. Once it's 11 p.m., I have to report to the club to go and deliver on my duties. And you can't expect me to be in the club holding the mic, shouting, hyping people up, and also be trying to say I'm doing a moderator job or I'm trying to avert a crisis on Twitter because I am doing a community manager role or because, okay, as the space host that I am right now, is my project is expecting me to go and host a space at the same time. It's not possible. And then I am earning well. For example, if you are working in a good club as a hype man and you get people that spray you, bro. Minimum in a night, if you don't get money, most say 60K cash, because a bundle of 200 naira note is 20K. You get one person that pays you three of those at a stretch. Then talk more of you get five people. Apart from that, you get people sending you money. Before the weekend runs out, on a good weekend, before the weekend runs out, you see you have made like approximately what you did not even plan. And apart from that, you still get your month end salary. And then you now come and have Web3 still supporting you. And now one thing we all fail to understand is we are all in Web3 to make the money. After making the money, where do we go? We go back to Web2 to actually invest it. So we are in Web3 for Web2 to actually survive in Web2, because you can't keep stacking up the dollars and then all the coins you keep gathering in your wallet without actually having where to spend it. Now, I was telling myself, I said, okay, I have something I want to build. My dream is to own my own lounge in real life. Now, the money I am gathering in all the events and hyping job I do around and the hosting and MCs that I do is not going to be enough for me to build. I've been in the crypto space since 2020. Ethereum for search was what brought me into crypto. But the Web3 space officially is last year. So I have been trying to do my own form of trading. I've been trading, trying to stack up funds to do it. And then I got introduced to Web3. Okay, I was flexible. I had all the time. Like I said from the beginning of the conversation, I have all the time in the world weekends, weekdays. So I felt it was safe and okay for me to actually get locked in Web3. And I made a very big mistake when I came into the Web3 space. I came with the mindset that, okay, yo, this is how I was introduced. Come in, you can actually do this and make the money, blah, 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 etc., etc. I actually forgot, and this was unlike me. Before I take a decision, I always do research. Like, I don't jump into decisions because I hate disappointment. I don't even like expectations so that I don't get disappointed. I came into the Web3 space with an expectation of making it fast. And then I got a very big blow. In fact, I left my Web2 job. I stopped going to club, like, because in the name of I was trying to lock in. I made that big mistake. And then the money I had stacked up, finished. The trading I was doing was not favoring me. The design I ventured into was wrecking me badly. And then means of survival was now becoming very hard. Meanwhile, all this while, there was a way I could have actually balanced everything. It took me like 2 months of seeing premium shaggy in the Web3 space for me to come up with ways of actually balancing my Web2 life with my Web3 life. Because as hand meet me, sense gas can't enter my head properly. I said, okay, I was turning down events. Events will come up. You, Luby, come. We get event for you. I will be like, I don't have the time. Una no vex. They go call me. House party where they go call me 100K just for me to show. Just to come and show. Apart from, as they go come spray me money, I go say, oh, mama, una no vex. I get space to host or etc. etc. Like it was, I was feeling I was just having one kind of hope that I was going to make it. So there I've been I called the tell my guys say if I make a Omo, I go change my name to Omeka Naya, even though I know that's not the meaning of the name. You understand that kind of thing. So I had that all that experience to now come and beat me. And for someone who is now actually who have been grinding for so long in the web 2 space, like I've been grinding, now coming to this Web3 space, now seeing that I had to look for a way to upskill my skill. Like, for example, in the space, I've come into the Web3 space. I have to look for a skill that will make me deliver effortlessly, right? And that is me talking. I talk for a living in Web2. I have to find a way to leverage on this in the Web3 space. I have to find a way to actually use my own voice to get me those jobs. And then now, I have to do it in such a way that I don't have to go around uh, being the one begging for the job, etc., etc. I have to build myself in such a way that projects will be the one actually coming to me. For example, I have to come up to be a promoter. Like people are saying they are marketers, marketers. I'm not a marketer. I'm a promoter. I am more of a promoter. I can go and sell an idea to you. This chalk is white and tell you it's blue and tell you that you need the blue chalk. You might be having a pen on your chest, and I will tell you no, your pen will not deliver that writing you want to deliver. I want you to buy mine because when you write with mine, that signature you are going to sign will actually seal you that deal. That is what I believe in. Practical things. So I have to look for a way to upskill my own skill in the Web3 space in such a way that it works for me. So when you say to either pick in Web3 either pick Web3 job or 9 to 5. For me, it's relative because I have to work with what works for me. I cannot actually. Some people might say 9 to 5, right? There are people who are printing billions and billions of nairas in seconds in the Web2 life, like in seconds, not a minutes, not hours. You can't tell those people to come to the Web3 space no matter what you do. Like, for example, crypto Twitter we have is just a department, a mini micro department in on Twitter alone. We all know there are a lot of sectors. Let's just visit real estate, for example. Do you know what somebody there are people that are selling deals of real estate, two like more than two deals daily, and they do this every day, 30 days a month. Do you know how much they are printing in those in just one deal? That you tell him to come and pick, and he doesn't even have to actually do the complete 9 to 5. Maybe just 2 3 hours. He doesn't even have to bring it to Twitter. These people are just doing it in real life. Go to Abuja, they are there. Small boys managing one estate, printing billions of nairas in seconds. You see somebody that just came to the city within 2 3 months is driving a car of how many million? So it's very, very relative. Those kind of people, you can't tell them to come to the Web3 space and pick it up and tell you because you are promising them 1.5. Some people 1.5 is not money. Somebody asked me, he said, if I see 30 billion now, right now, how am I going to feel? I told him I'm not even going to feel like I've seen money yet. Because 30 billion is not enough to bring out my true character. I need him. I need money where people go tell me, say, yo, Luby, you have changed. Money don't change am. That kind of thing. So 1.5 might not be enough for somebody because they'll see it as a chicken change. They wear your own end, there another person own start. For person who don't see bastard money, okay. When I first came into the crypto space 2020 through Ethereum for search, guy, how we were having people that knew Ethereum and you actually that did that Ethereum for search and you knew what that thing was about, bro. I was having about 100 Ethereums in my wallet, but then we didn't know what was going on. Guy, every two days you could wake up and see $300 dropped into your wallet. Why? Because of referral. King Uche spoke about affiliate marketing. If you understand, he said he had his a long chain. And if you understand how affiliate marketing works and all the way the chain was, that was how Ethereum for search was. Bro, we were traveling out of our state to go and enroll people into Ethereum for search. But we didn't know all these things. We played with it. We were sending Ethereum for free. Look at Ethereum. How much is Ethereum? Then we started with 4,000 naira, bro. 4,000 naira. Now Ethereum is 2,000. It went as high as almost 5K or so. So you see this kind of thing now. You cannot come and tell me 1.5. 1.5 will calm me down. 1.5 cannot show me anything. It cannot even do. I don't even think 1.5. I lost 1.5 in one digit trade. Just one. Bam, it's gone within split seconds. So I have to me. I had to find the sense. I have to become wise by fire by force because I had no choice. So now for me, picking is not an option because I have found a way to balance mine. It's working well for me. I know I'm not gonna hype forever because regardless, I'm a graduate of mass communication. I'm already an on-air personnel. I am building my portfolio in that regards already. Apart from that, I'm deep into event management and decoration. All this. So you see, my 9 to 5 is relative to me. I have found a way to balance it. Web3, Web2, all together. I am eating from both, and I don't get issue with anybody. So if you are picking 9 to 5, make sure you know why. If you are picking Web3, make sure you know why. How about if the market goes down? How about if everywhere red? Projects are okay. When the market was down, it was not just when the market was down, it didn't just affect traders, developers, builders, everybody. Projects were on pause. You guys, people, shout out to the Solana Maxis in the house who actually know what is going on Solana. You keep hearing people shouting Solana went $200, went $200. Solana is not because people like a lot of the projects that have gone on pause. A lot of the builders who were on Solana have gone on pause when it was the bear season. They are yet to actually come back and still kick up. You understand? So when all these things are happening, how do you survive? That is the question you should be asking yourself. How will you survive? How will you navigate it when it's red? This BS season will even happen, not even touch the one we happened for 2021. Where you go get 6 million, you go fit wake up see 600,000 for 600,000 for your account. It was deadly. So how do you navigate this? Because people are following you, you go and follow the crowd, you go and learn. And when you learn, you are going to learn the hard way. Because whether you like it or not, you have to think smartly and navigate it properly. People will always go. I know some of the top chats. I've met some of top chats in this space who are printing bastard money, but they are still maintaining their Web2 jobs. You get why? They no go tell you. You get why? Tell them they will still go to that 9 to 5. Forget all this time they go day space, they catch cruise with you. They actually day office. They deliver on their job because they have found a hack around it. They have found a hack around it. Me, I talk say I no go ever. I don't know if I can ever do an office job. The solid 9 to 5. I really don't know because I actually hate working for people. I don't like working for people. There was a time I went back home. Things were so bad. I had to, the way prodigal son, return back home. I went back home. I did. After I don't sleep, boot my brain for like 3 days. I woke up one morning, told my dad, "You, Alpha, they follow you, come on." He said to me, "I said I want to go find job." My dad laughed at me for over throughout the drive. He was laughing. I asked him why he was laughing. He was like, he cannot imagine me working for somebody because as far back as 2016, I've already learned a handwork and I've already started fending for myself because I didn't want anybody to be commanding me. I didn't want anybody to tell me what to do. I was an only child. I'm used to getting things that I want. And now growing, I know that I cannot ask anymore. I had to figure out a way. He was surprised that I calmed down when I looked for a job to be getting paid. And that was when I learned hyping and the rest. And me now learning it, I learned it in such a way that I do it at my leisure. You get yourself, you go bring the hyping job. If I look you, you go know say I'm not here to play. So you understand? You guys look for what works for you. For me personally, me Luby, it works for me. I am maintaining both because man, you get as Web3 go deal with you. Life is not all about Web3. You get as Web3 go deal with you. You go wish say you get laborer work for Web2, make you go back to make it help your life. And e get as the Web2 life go pepper you. You go wish say you get remote job where fit they give you urgent $3. But if you are able to navigate around it and balance it, it's an amazing experience. For example, if dev like come, now I dey do somehow I dey do Web3 for fun. If dev come, come. I don't even have to beg for a job. In fact, if project reach out to me, e get as I go build them. They go know say I get pride because why? Whether work come, whether dev come, whether dev no come, whether project come, whether they no come, bro, I'm still earning in my Web2 life and I'm living okay. I can pay my house rent. I can buy the clothes that I need. I can eat any food I want. But when you now relax on Web3 is not really balanced because you might be giving the best of jobs. You are not the best at what you do, but you are not alone out there, right? That is why if you are building in the Web3 space, you have to make yourself so unique and peculiar that there is only one of you. There should be only one of you because you are a marketer. There is a bigger marketer out there. You might be doing a good job. Oh. You might be doing a good job. This 1.5 wey dem dey pay you. Tomorrow they go see better man. Then all it takes is for them to go to a space and hear somebody market it differently more than you, and they get convinced, and they'll just come and fire you. That 1.5 don't stop. And it is the only 1.5 you are seeing, bro. You are in deep shit. You understand? So just do it the best way it works for you. Don't try to be like anybody else. That is my advice to everybody. But for me, lubricator, I am keeping both. So yes, guys, it's the weekend. Do all to go touch some grass because life is not all about Web3. But as you are touching grass, do not forget the blockchain never sleeps.
Who be this? Who be this? See hype man wey dey drop alpha. See hype man wey dey drop alpha. See hype man wey dey drop alpha. Dey drop alpha. Who be this lubricator? I never knew that's the full meaning of your name. Sure, all of una just come here, dey whine us, dey deceive us. Father Lord, thank you for space. Father Lord, we thank you for space. If not, how will I have known that this man behind this PFP is a hype man, he's an event planner, he's a radio presenter, he's literally everything that comes to entertainment. If you go in TL, na so GameFi and the rest you go dey see for there o. Dem no go tell you this one for Twitter. Na why you say make una dey at ten d space, una no go believe. I no go believe, but that is why I dey here. They carry this kind tori dey come on our table every Friday. So if you are here, you are not following this account, I be any speakers wey dey here na you dey lose o. I go lie for you. So thank you, Lubricator. Omo, Lubricator. Now I know why your name be Lubricator, because as you dey talk, you know dey breathe, you dey go, you know dey crack. I go lie for you. So, guys, if you are listening to me, this is Crypto Nature, and if you are just joining our space for the very first time, welcome to our weekly spaces. Big shout out to the sponsors of our weekly spaces, Piin. Lubricator say he talks for a living. Normally, me sef I talk for a living. Now, why I the host space, I the host event, I the do MC. You get the point. We also do that for a living. I swear. They talk say some people talk say you dey talk too much, it's not a bad thing. But if you know they use am well, na be bad thing. But me, I dey use my own shop. I go lie for you. So thank you guys. Thank you. Omo. Lubricator, you shock me, but I rest my case. So Lucy, GM, how are you doing? Still on the issue. Now let's try to like go back. Let's table what other people have said before Lubricator. For those just joining us, we are talking about Web3 jobs or 9 to 5 jobs. Which one are you picking? Web3 job is offering you $500. A 9 to 5 job is offering you $2,000. Mr. Oguche says he's going with $2,000. He'll come back to build a future in Web3. Crypto Kagi say $2,000. He'll come back and build something Web3. King Uche, from his own standpoint of view, he said Web3 because it is the future, and obviously it comes with a whole lot of freedom, decentralization, flexibility, blah blah blah. And Nano also said that he's going with Web3 regardless of the little pay. And Lubricator comes from the blue, say, Mona give me two. I no one leave out for anybody. I go pack him. Lubricator say if you can balance it, he's going for two. I go lie for you. Normally now. So Lucy, GM, what do you have to say? Are you going for a Web2 job or you are going for a Web3 job? Let's hear your own 2 cents on this issue, yeah.
GM, everybody. Good morning to everyone in the space. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're tuning in from. And it was really nice hearing you, Bukato, and was it King Uche? I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but yes. And to be honest, on the part of your question, 2K Web 2, 500 Web 3, I'm trying to understand why would anybody go for 500 Web 3? I'm confused with why would you do that? It's 4 times lesser. It's way too much stress. It's a whole lot of things. So first of all, first thing first, as the Wickeder said, why pick one when you can pick two? And I think one beautiful thing about the Web2 space, the Web3 space at its where, is the flexibility that comes with it. So I'm a partnership manager, I'm a content creator, I'm an ambassador. You can be 10 things at the same time. It gives you freedom to be able to do a couple of things. Now, again, it's based on the nature of the role in Web 2. Now, a number of Web 2 jobs, as long as you're not a, what's the word now? Liberal, where you have an active work you're doing, where you have to be carrying something and you can have access to your internet. Web3 mostly allows for your job is mostly online, right? And whatever you're doing in Web2, somehow, if you're going to be honest, if you have good management of time, you can actually cater to both roles, right? But then when it comes to my personal opinion, obviously as a woman, as an Igbo woman, no, I am going for the higher pay with even more comfort, because we have two jobs. Of course, you have your set deliverables. You have maybe not flexibility of time, but you know what you're supposed to do and you can get on it. For Web 2 job, 3 job, it's mostly you trying to get around things. Expertise in the industry is pretty emerging. But then if it's on the grand scheme of things, Web 2, Web 3 jobs, to be quite honest, I don't think it's even a debate. Web 3 jobs gives you flexibility, allows you to be able to take up more role. But most importantly is the positioning you get in this industry, right? It's exclusive of the pay now. I'm talking about in terms of each of these job value. Someone asked me one time, I just finished university quite recently, and he goes, okay, so what are you going to be doing? He has a media company, and I studied communication language arts, and he wants me to come work in their media. And I was like, oh, I'm looking to dive deeper into the Web3 space. And he goes like, what's even Web3? Why you always do Web3? Well, there's a lot of opportunities in Web2 that gives you good amount of money. You guys may be thinking a couple of dollars here, a couple of $1,000 in Web3, and you're, oh my God, because our currency at this point in time is pretty much devalued. But I promise you, people are earning well, like really, really well, even in the Web2 space. Content creators, I have this girl, she's a skincare. She gets paid 1.5 per video. So it's not like the only places you get really good amount of money is Web 2, right? Is Web 3. Web 2 also actually pays well. But I think one of the opportunity that Web 3 does is the no barrier. So you can actually be almost anything you want to be without necessarily having to have a certificate. You have to, I mean, of course, the number of job requires you, but then as limiting as Web 2 can be, where you have to have certificates, you have to have years of experiences, Web 3 offers you the opportunity to be able to get into roles you wouldn't actually. You have a lot of university students, you have a lot of secondary school students that are working a bit as ambassadors, as marketers, as partnership managers, as BD, and a whole lot. So when it comes to the nature of the job, Web 3 is open for everybody, especially in the job aspect or in the industry aspect, right? And but then the position that comes with Web3 is something that a lot of people are not envisioning. Now, if you look back at the era of internet, I want to keep this very short. I know we have a lot of speakers here. If you look at the era of the world, the internet as a whole, we came from evolution, from money. Money started from trade by barter, and then it goes to coins, calories, and then it goes to fiat, where we have the paper money, and then it goes to the internet money we have right now, where we are doing bank transfers or what have you. And if you think about the next evolution of money, where is money going to be going in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years? We're looking at cryptocurrency. It's the future of finance. It's the blockchain. And then currently we are positioned at the feet of people. And if you're not seeing that, we are still very early in the Web2 industry now. When it comes, Web2 industry is still positioned. Everybody think it's emerging. It's a bit rough at this time in time. It's defining. But if you look at the evolution of money, what finance is going to be in the next 10 to 20 years is going to be, transparency, is going to be blockchain. And what is the finance in the blockchain? It's cryptocurrency. And that is the opportunity that Web3 positions you right now, the individual.